Every few years, the National Achievement Survey gives us an opportunity to reflect on the educational health of the Indian system. This year, the PRS, or the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan, gave us an insight into positive foundational results that shows us that NIPUN Bharat is working. The PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan 2024 provides an in-depth picture of the performance of children, particularly in grades 3, 6, and 9, which maps with the stages of growth that children in the country go through. PRS 2024 is conducted by NCERT. It is based entirely on NEP 2020, focuses on conceptual clarity and critical thinking skills rather than rote memorization. This makes it a truly unique large-scale assessment. Joining us today for this special edition of Edge Talks is Dr. Indrani Bhaduri, CEO and Head of PARAKH, the body responsible for conducting PRS 2024. Indrani Ma'am has been responsible for and involved in large-scale assessments in India since 2001, when NCERT first started conducting NAS in the country. Welcome to this special edition of Edge Talks, and congratulations on delivering yet another successful round of NAS, or as it's now called PRS 2024. Ma'am, before we delve into the details of PRS itself, I want to take a step back and ask you a question about yourself. You've been an educator for over 2 decades now. Given your experience, your rich experience in this space, what do you think is the true purpose of an assessment like PRS 2024, and how does it help us move educational goals further?
When we talk about the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan 2024, which is a large-scale assessment, we need to understand the basic purpose and objective of doing large-scale assessment. Large-scale assessment, basically, we are not looking at the achievement of the unique child or the individual school or the teacher. It's a sample-based survey, wherein I'm looking at the educational health. So when I talk about educational health, it is the educational health at the district level, at the state level, or at the national level. So this large scale assessment, we are able to monitor the educational health of the nation. So if you look at it, it is the sort of the MRI, because it's quite granular in nature. We go at the district level, so it gives us a report card of the progress made by the state.
Yes. No, thank you so much for that, ma'am. And it's very important to have that holistic picture of how the education system of the country is doing at that granular level. Ma'am, we've had previous 2 rounds of NAS, of a national survey, National Achievement Survey. Why was it that we felt we needed to create a PRS baseline this year?
Not just 2 rounds, we have been conducting the National Achievement Survey, which is India's large-scale achievement survey, since 2001.
Yeah.
And it all started with the center is giving a lot of funds to the states for improving the learning outcomes. So is it really happening? To monitor that, the large-scale achievement came up. So, but when we used to do it previously, it was much different. Like before 2017, that is. The unit of sampling was state. 2017 is the first time when we got the unit of sampling at the district level. So now we have the report cards at the district level. Again, when we used to do NAS previously, before 2017, it used to be, 1 grade at a time. But 2017, we did all the grades together. That is, we did 3, 5, 8, and 10, all of it together. The next thing was that there was no post-NAS dissemination. It was just national report used to come out after 2-3 years. But then when we did it in 2017, because of the use of technology, I think the NAS was held in the month of November, and the reports were out in January. So 2017 was a big shift from what we used to do previously and how it changed. We continued that story in 2021. 2020, NAS couldn't happen, so it happened in 2021. When we did the large scale achievement survey in 2024, we are now calling it the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan 2024 because, India has come out with its very transformative policy, the National Education Policy 2020. We have based the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan totally on NEP 2020. Again, there is a shift from 2017 and 2021 in 2024. First, we are looking at the competencies. So the assessment is all competency based. Second, it is not grade specific. It is state specific. So when I'm talking about PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan, I am assessing the foundational stage at grade 3, that I'm assessing the preparatory stage at grade uh, 6, because 3, 4, 5 is the preparatory, and I'm assessing the middle stage in grade 9. So I'm doing it at grade 3, 6, and 9. And when we did the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan, at that time the number of districts in India was 782, and a NAS could happen in 781 district. We just missed one district in Tamil Nadu because of floods. So all the 781 district report cards for how the districts are performing at the foundational, at the preparatory, and at the middle stage, it's out there in the public domain.
No, that's lovely. Thank you so much for sharing that rich background with us. Usually, people, when they talk about NAS, they just talk about, the 2 rounds of NAS in the format of, district level sampling, etc. But it's great to have that background that it's been happening since 2001. Ma'am, a point that you mentioned that I think, we would really like to hear more about is around dissemination. That, dissemination happens to be a very key element of PRS 2024 also. If you could shed some light on the dissemination techniques and strategies that PARAKH has deployed to cascade it down from state to district to teacher. So how can the state, the district, and the teacher use these PRS 2024 results for betterment of children?
Yeah, like I said, that the dissemination, the post-NAS dissemination, it started with NAS 2017. We did it in again 2021, and now in 2025 we are doing it in a bigger manner. Again, we are using 2017, 2021. We did prepare the dashboard, but now out here, right now, if you see the PRS dashboard, that is the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan dashboard, it is much more, it has a lot of depth. A large scale assessment that we do in India, it's not just about the achievement test, but we also contextualize the learning level. And this contextualization happens through the use of the questionnaire. We administer 3 questionnaires, that is the pupil questionnaire, the teacher questionnaire, and the school questionnaire. So all this data, how we disseminate is that we start with a national level, conference. So we had a national level conference wherein all the secretaries, education secretaries were called. Initially, letters were also sent to the chief secretaries by Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy. And that letter contained the fact sheets of the NAS. And then we conducted these national level workshop, which was held in July 2nd. And after that, we conducted a regional level workshop wherein we clubbed the states together as per the region, and then we conducted these workshop. Now, at present, we have the state-specific workshops going on, wherein we have called the district people in the state, and we are disseminating the results to these district people. So when I talk about the district people, meaning the DEOs, the diet principals, the CRCs, the BRCs, and in some cases we are even calling the teachers if it is a smaller district. So the main focus is understanding these reports that we have prepared, the dashboard basically. So how, as a district level teacher, how do I interpret the report card? How do I get to see my district report? How do I get to see how my students in the districts have performed? So once I understand that, a question arises in my mind that if a child in my district is not able to perform in certain competencies, because if you see our district report card, you will see that for the foundation, we have taken mathematics and language being the medium of instruction, the regional language that has been assessed. For the preparatory, we have assessed language again, mathematics, and the world around us. And for grade 9, we have assessed language, mathematics, science, and social sciences. And the competency-wise achievement has been given. So as a teacher, when I look at the report card, I get to understand that, okay, fine, a particular competency is not working in my particular district. So I reflect that, is it the same thing? Is it, are my students in the classroom are also not able to? So let me check. So it has the first, through this NAS, we are introducing to the teachers the competencies. We have already told them about the competencies. We are kind of again augmenting on it, that during the foundation, these are the competencies that needs to be developed in the child. For the preparatory, this, for the middle, this. And then you check as a teacher, you assess whether these competencies are being achieved in your classroom.
Right. No, thank you, ma'am. That's really, really helpful. And now that you're in the midst of all of these dissemination workshops, there must be a few of the findings that are really sort of coming up as genuine reforms that the states or the districts or the teachers need to make, either in the teaching learning process or in policy. Can you shed some light on some of these findings that you think require sort of quick action or immediate action?
I think, like we all know that we've seen the dashboard. You have worked with it intensively with it. So foundation level, we are doing very well. We have made a lot of progress. So NIPUN Bharat mission has really worked for all of us. The states are doing wonderful work, and thanks to all the assessment partners who are involved with the states, they are doing a wonderful work there for the implementing the Nipun Bharat mission, and it has shown, it has borne its results. But then we need to continue building on it. It's not that now that we are shown an improvement, we stop there. No, we need to continue building, because we need to work towards the Viksit Bharat mission 20, and for that we need the 100% Nipun to be there. If you see, one area where we really need to focus is the mathematics learning. And I have been interacting with the teachers from the districts, and we see that there is a dominant approach that goes on, and that is mathematics being taught like the algorithms are being mastered, okay, instead of the concepts. So right from the beginning, if I kind of make the child understand the constructs that are there in mathematics, understand the language of mathematics, to so to say, instead of focusing on the algorithms. I think this will make a huge change. And mathematics, learning, teaching, we need to really work hard on it.
No, ma'am, that's great to get that sort of corroboration, because we also find that conceptual and procedural math, there's such a huge difference that children are not able to understand concepts, but procedurally, it's easy for them to sort of just compute. Ma'am, I want to shift gears to understanding how large-scale assessments work. You mentioned that in PRS 2024, there were 3 questionnaires that went out. Can you give me a little bit more detail about how PRS 2024 was conducted? What were these questionnaires? What were some of the background questions that you asked that enable you to give us such a deep and rich insight into background factors that go into education? So just some detail into the PRS 2024 process.
Good you asked me this question, because when we talk about PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan, it's usually the achievement that gets focused, and somehow the questionnaire, the context that in which the learning is happening, that gets relegated. We need to keep that in forefront. So, like I said, that we have 3 questionnaire: the pupil questionnaire, the teacher questionnaire, and the school questionnaire. The pupil questionnaire, we ask, for example, the child that do you feel safe coming to school? And you will be happy to know that yes, there majority of the children said yes, they, because that safety, I feel, is the first element.
Yes.
Unless as a child I feel non-threatened, I don't feel anxious, my learning will take place. So making the school comfortable, making the school welcoming is a very crucial thing. And related to this, we also saw that the midday meals that we talk about, the PM portion, now that we say. So we also did a regression between the achievement levels and these contextual variables, and we saw that a school in which PM portion is there, they have a higher achievement.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan was conducted in private schools. It was conducted in government, unaided schools. So we covered all the management types in PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan. Another thing that comes out is we did a few questions on the mental health, mental well-being of the child. And amazing results. I feel that rather through this talk, I would like to urge all the stakeholders to also look at these contextual variables.
Yes.
And it's also out there in the public domain. For teachers also, we have done the contextualization, as well as for the school. The school questionnaire, it was filled by the head teacher of the school.
Great. No, ma'am, this is great, because oftentimes we get so caught up in the student learning outcome bit that we forget that it's usually a product of multiple other factors that go into the making of a school. Ma'am, back to sort of looking at large-scale assessments, and you have such tremendous and rich experience in this space. What makes PRS different from any other large-scale assessment that happens? And you don't have to stick to India, but globally. And what are some 3 or 4 takeaways from PRS 2024 that you think are really, really important that everybody should know with regards to how large-scale assessments are conducted?
If you see US, they have their NAPE, we have the Australian, the NAPLAN, and then there are many, even in Southeast Asia, yes. Many countries are doing large-scale assessment. What the main difference between the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan and those large-scale achievement survey is that those large-scale achievement survey are still focused on content. Rather, we have shifted to competency based assessment. This is a huge thing. Even NAPE has not shifted to competency based. They are still working on making a core curriculum, coming out with a core curriculum and developing the items corresponding to that. The competencies are, they have been taken in PISA, but then they do it only for that's not a grade specific, but that's a age specific survey that goes on.
So, ma'am, what I really wanted to also sort of highlight was how different people within the cascade of a government, the state officials, district officials, teachers, how can they read the PRS 2024 results and how can they implement these findings?
Yeah. So, in PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan, we have come out with different reports. We have a national report, we have the state level reports, we have the district level reports. We also have a technical report, which we are yet to release. We will be releasing it soon. So the technical reports is basically for researchers like you, that because that gives us an understanding about actually, and we have worked out the IRT scaling in that, the proficiency, the standard setting also in that. The proficiency that we have come out with in the technical report, that will help the state functionary. If I am working in the SPD office, in the directorate, so it will give me an understanding what is the percentage of students who are proficient at the foundational stage. Okay, within the state and within the state in the different districts. So it gives me an understanding how within the states there are the performance of the district, there's a difference in their performance, which districts are doing better, which are not doing better. We also have the disaggregated scores in terms of gender, in terms of location, in terms of school management. So as a state level functionary, I get to understand which district is pulling the performance of the state down, which district is kind of augmenting the performance of the state, or which is contributing to the performance of the state. Can those some of the best practices where the districts are doing well be replicated for the other districts as well? So, as a state level functionary, I get to understand and I get to do this. When we go to the district level, uh, the district level functionaries will have an understanding of their district reports. So, it will help me understand that in my within my district, if I see that in my district I'm able to do well in the preparatory and the middle stage, but I'm not able to do well in foundation. Now foundation is a low lying fruit. If I'm able to do in preparatory and middle, why is it I'm not able to do? So what is it that I am not doing right, so that I can, kind of get into improve that stage. So this understanding is what the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan report gives you to the district level functionaries. And now, as again in the district level functionary, you can look at the proficiency level also and understand like the percentage of students who are proficient and above at the foundational stage, at the preparatory and at the middle stage. As a teacher, my entire thing is how do I improve my transaction. So I get to understand from the district report. The district report is there, and it gives me, like, for example, in the foundation, the language domain is there, and we have the competencies in the language domain. So looking at that, I understand that which are the competencies which are not working in my district. Now, if that particular competency is not working in my district, my question is it something that similar is happening in my classroom also? So I get to check. So if it is similar, that yes, it is the children are not able to achieve those competencies, do I need to change my approach to learning teaching approach? How do I change to improve those competencies, or to work more better in those competencies for the children?
Right. So it's like a holistic reform
It's
agenda also.
yes. And of course, again, to top it all, you have the contextual.
Right. Yes. And then you have your background variables coming. No, thank you so much for that, ma'am.
So this makes a huge difference, because I feel that uh, from grade to stage is more appropriate, because you are giving this large scale achievement, like we know, is a sample based survey. So your inputs is for the entire stage that you are talking about. You cannot be that granular that for grade 3 only, grade 5. So this shift, I feel, the international achievement service should take up from the from the Indian context. And yes, I do not know exactly whether they do a post NAS intervention also, post large scale achievement survey, the way we do. Because I have not come across any literature regarding this. So yes, I guess these are the three important difference. One is the competency, the other is the stage specific, and the third is the intervention that we do.
No, those are some very important takeaways for large scale assessments, particularly the competency based assessment piece that you just mentioned, because that brings us directly to another assessment that PARAKH does, which is FLS. And you mentioned that we are doing really well in foundational, and that is a key finding of PRS 2024 also. Can you also give us some insight into FLS and how that is different from PRS, or how they can be complementary or not so much, or what is the design of the foundational learning survey or FLS?
Rightly said that the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan and the foundational learning study, they are complementary, but then they are not the same. It's very, very different. When I talk about PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan, it is a group administered assessment, whereas the foundational learning study, which the first cycle happened in 2022, it's an individual test. So it's a 101 kind of a test. And here it is 1:30 for the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan. Second is, when we look at the language component in PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan, we are just assessing the reading with understanding, reading comprehension, so to say. But when I do a foundational learning study, I am looking at the literacy domain and the numeracy domain. And in the literacy, I'm looking at the decoding of the words, decoding of the non-words, decoding of letters, beginning with decoding of letters, decoding of sentences, oral listening, and then, of course, the ORF with comprehension. In numeracy, again, we have a whole gamut of subcompetencies. So it is much more in-depth understanding of the foundational learning that is happening in the foundational learning study, which we are not touching in the PARAKH Rashtriya Sarvekshan.
And you see that as being very useful for furthering foundational learning?
It is the base for furthering foundational learning. If you see our foundational learning study 2022 report, you will see that we have done the benchmarking in language in 20 different languages. And again, none of the countries around the world have done it in such a huge manner.
Yes.
So, and best part is that we have presented this foundational learning study in different platforms globally. We have presented in Paris, in the UNESCO Forum, and everywhere it has been very well taken and wonderfully accepted.
You know, it's a very important study, especially when we speak about NIPUN Bharat. It's such a marker for achievement through NIPUN. Ma'am, shifting gears a little bit to other mandates that PARAKH has been given recently, and sort of talking about the Triple SA. Can you sort of enlighten us a little bit about what the Triple SA is? What is the purpose behind it? What is the principle behind Triple SA? And what is PARAKH's thinking about the same?
Again, the National Education Policy 2020 has given this, approach to quality in schools in a very different manner, and wherein we are not looking at policing, we are not looking at one-shot approach, we are looking at what are the standards that needs to be achieved. So, as a state school standard setting authority, I get to define what are the benchmark that needs to be achieved. I get to help the schools to do a self-assessment. In a way, it's a self-disclosure to understand where as a school I stand, and then I also get to help the school to achieve those benchmarks. So it is all about standard setting. It is not about any stigma attached. It is about assessment without the anxiety part, and it is all about accountability without the policing.
Yeah.
That is there. Initially, if you would remember, people would we had those inspection in the school, and it was a one-day kind of an affair wherein people from outside would come and do an inspection. The entire school would be geared up to be ready for it, prepare for it. So we don't want that. We don't want it to be a one-time activity. It has to be something that is sustainable. So something to be sustainable, it has to come from within. So in government we do this karma yogi trainings.
Right.
And in that they talk about something called the inner fruit. So that is what we are doing through the Triple SA. We want the state functionaries, the school functionaries to understand these and realize these inner fruits, value them. Okay, so that on my own I try to improve.
Yeah. I realized that when I asked the question, I didn't really give the full form of Triple SA also. So the State School Standards Authority is what Triple SA stands for. So important that in order for a state to achieve its educational outcomes, that all of these bodies work in unison. Thank you so much for your time today, ma'am. We are at the end of our questions. If there are any other closing remarks that you would like to give us, or anything that you would like to tell us about PARAKH, and anything we should look forward to in terms of exciting work and assessments?
I think PARAKH is also working on equivalence of boards. Yes, so that's a huge thing. I'm happy to say that the boards are collaborating wonderfully with PARAKH. All the 34, we have state boards who are at present closely working with us. We have we are focusing right now in bringing equivalence in assessment by having the competency based assessment questionnaire. We have also proposed an ITMS, that is the integrated test management system. We are also working with the boards on how to integrate the vocational education, the skill education, because now the boards have become a dual awarding body. So they can do the training as well as the assessment for the vocational education. So creditizing the entire process of vocational education, how much hours needs to be there, that is already given in the national curricular framework for school education. And so corresponding to it, how we match the credits, what are the percentages that needs to be given. So we are working very closely with the boards for the assessment of the vocational education.
Oh, that's great. So that's like a full gamut, starting from foundational all the way to vocational. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this special episode of Edge Talks, and do join us again for another exciting episode soon. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more such exciting content.